Start with Mangalacharya. Namo Arhantaram, Namo Siddharam, Namo Airiyaram, Namo Uvachayadam, Namo Loe Sarvasahuram. Mangalam Bhagavan Viro, Mangalam Gautamo Gani, Mangalam Kunda Kundatyo, Jaina Dharmostu Mangalam, Sarva Mangalyam Mangalyam, Sarva Kalyana Karikam, Pradhanam Sarva Dharmanam, Jainam Jayatu Shasanam, Jainam Jayatu Shasanam, Jainam Jayatu Shasanam. मोक्षमार्गस्य नेतारं वेत्तारं कर्मभूभृतां ज्ञातारं विश्वतत्त्वानां वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये. Okay, so in the last class, what we started was with the existence of soul, and that brought us to discuss about the universe around us, by which we tried understanding about the three worlds and the six substances that this world is constituted of. The six substances which are Jeev, Pudgal, Dharma, Adharma, Akash, and Kal. Right? So we started discussing about these things. Jeev was the sentient being whose primary job was to know. Pudgal has four distinct functions. It can be touched, it can be tasted, it has some odor, some smell, and it can be seen, it has color. And also, if two Pudgal skandhas they meet, they produce sound. So they can also produce sound. They have shabd, right? So Pudgal was a physical entity which we call in English matter. Dharma is medium of motion, adharma is medium of rest. So dharma lets us move, adharma lets us rest. Akash is the huge space in which we all stay, we all roam around, and Kal is the phenomena which lets us transform into other, like so from childhood we came to our youth, and then gradually we'll become old, and then we'll die, and then we'll take birth again, and this will go on for ever. That's how the time will work. It will never stop, and until and unless the time stops, we cannot stop transforming continuously, right? And then in the last class, we also discussed about the premises that, okay, how do we believe all this? How do I believe that, okay, the five Parmeshtis that I'm going down to, they are the ones who can be trusted. They're worthy of our trust, because there's so many, so much of variety we have when it comes to God and the faiths and the religions. There's so many religions, and they are not on the same page when they're talking about any of the concepts. Talk about afterlife, talk about how things function, talk about karmas. Nobody has the answer which is common to all. Everybody has contradictory answers. So then we thought, okay, fine, we're not going to confirm it with anybody. First, we'll take a paper and pen, we'll sit down and we'll try to decipher this whole universe and its functioning by ourselves. And if that explanation to which we reach, the conclusion to which we reach, we arrive, if it matches to any of the philosophies, there would be chances that we can put some of our beliefs to that philosophy. And if that concurs, then we can further concrete our beliefs, right? So we started discussing with the phenomena of existence, right? So we called it astitva, right? Astitva. And while we talked about astitva, we were very sure that, okay, there is no father, there is no God who has created us, and we owe our existence to that person. No. And therefore, there is not even a single person who can take our lives, who can kill us, who can make us go extinct. So there is no destroyer, there is no creator. And when there is no destroyer and no creator, we do not need any protector as well. So there is no protector as well. So in famous Indian philosophies, there is a concept of Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. You must have heard about these Trinity. We call them the Trinity, Divine Trinity, right? Or in Hindi, we call them three Dev. One is Brahma, one is Vishnu, and one is Mahesh. Brahma is often called as the creator. He has created us. Vishnu is the preserver or protector. He protects us. And the Mahesh is the one who is, whenever his third eye opens, the whole world will go extinct. So he is the destroyer. And that's how generally in Eastern Indian philosophy, some of the philosophies believe in this trinity. There is Brahma who creates, there is Vishnu who protects, and there is Mahesh who destroys, right? So do they exist or do they not? Is there a God who creates us? Is there a God who protects us? Is there a God who destroys us? Let's try to make, based on this basic quality of astitva, is there a God we need to create us? Or is there Brahma? Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, do they exist or do they not exist? Simple question. Yes, Adi, what do you think? This is the Divine Trinity. What do you think? Adi?
Oh, wait, I forgot what Vishnu is.
Sorry, actually, you missed. Jia, what do you think? Is there somebody called Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Mahesh who exists and they're responsible for our existence, our protection, and then our death as well?
No.
Why?
Because we exist by ourselves and we don't need a creator or a protector or a destroyer.
Okay, but you know what? Jainism says that yes, we do. In fact, we do. In fact, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, they exist. That's a bit weird thing to say, but yes, in Jain philosophy also, we have our own Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. We call them with different names. It's a bit, I don't know, very unique to Jainism. This concept is, you must have heard about these things. Brahma is believed to be creator, so we call them Utpad. Utpad is the birth. The protector, the word the protector is to sustain us. We call this as Dharma. And for destroyer, we call it Vyaya. So we have Utpad, Vyaya, Dravya, and there is Astit is equal to Sat, is equal to existence. So we call existence as Sat. And then when we go to Acharya Umaswami Dev, in his scripture, Tattvar Sutra, he defines Sat as Ad, Vyaya, Dravya, Yuktam, Sat. This is the sutra, this is the mantra he gave. Who has existence? A person, can you name a person who has existence? Yes. A person who is the owner of his own existence, if there is a thing called Sat, something that exists, then that thing should be constituted by these three distinct functions. To survive, we have to follow these three functions. We have to continuously work on ourselves and recreate our own newer version, right? If a company, if Apple has to survive, what do they have to do? Every year they have to work to launch a new set. Constantly all software companies are working to upgrade, right? So what new are you offering? If you do not offer, if you remain stuck to what you launched 10 years ago, you're out of the market, right? That's the basic market science. To remain in the market, you have to remain relevant. So similarly, in Vastu Vyavastha, if you have to survive, if you have to exist, constantly what you have to do, older version have to be put off out of the market. The newer version has to come into the market, and in all your brand should survive. You have to remain distinctly, relevant. The people know you. Your name is there. So these cell phones have changed a lot, which we fill our pockets with. The size, the texture, the functions of the cell phone. Cell phones have changed a lot over the years, but the brands have remained almost the same. We still have Apple, we have Samsung, we have Nokia, not so famous now. BlackBerry is not so famous now, but they are there. They have survived, right? So how do they survive? And those brands who go out of the market, do they go out of the market? Why they do not survive? The answer is these basic three functions. Yes, to some part, even this divine trinity is necessary. But to believe that this trinity is a third person who controls my life is a myth. There is Brahma, but that Brahma is me. I only create my new version by myself. That's the birth of the new Paryay. We call it Path. It's called birth of the new Paryay. Birth of new Paryay. So let's say if I'm feeling very angry right now, what do I need? If I'm feeling anger right now, what do I need? I need to transform to a state which is calmer, where I do not feel angry. That's how I can, relax. I can be at peace. So this anger just took birth. The utpad of anger has happened. I, the Brahma, created anger in my own soul. That's the utpad. But then, what if what I created lasts forever? Then I'll be always called as an angry man. But I'm not angry and I do not want to remain angry. So I need to destroy this anger as well. So there needs to be a facility which lets me destroy what I myself created, right? So first, I'm independent to create all kind of emotions. There is no third party which encourages me to create any of the emotions of anger, of pride, of cheating, of greed, any kind of emotion, the hatred, vengeance, the goodness, kindness, charity, all these emotions, all these good or bad thoughts, we are the creator of those thoughts. So we are first the Brahma. We are the Brahmas of each and every emotion that we actually nurture, we give birth to, we conceive and then we give birth to the emotions. But at the same time, who gave birth to these emotions? I. Who is the Brahma? I am. Then when I can create them, should I not have the power to decide that, okay, these emotions are not healthy for me, these emotions need to stop. So I myself become Mahesh. I say, no, the growth will not do. I'll destroy this Paryay. We'll call it Vyay. So new Paryay will take birth. So the new Paryay of a calmer state of mind will take Utpad, and the anger Paryay, the state of mind which was angry, will go to Vyay state. It will get destroyed. And in both these scenarios, I remain the same. I am the same person who was angry a while ago, and now I am in a more peaceful state of mind. So I become the Dravya. I become the constant state on which the Utpad and Vyay. So Dravya is the stage on which a new Paryay comes and dance and the old Paryay goes. So it's a constant state. So a same person, you can meet him, and when you meet them, they are happy, they're smiling. You sit down and start talking, they get emotional, and then the tears coming rolling down their cheeks. And after some time, you joke, then they start laughing, and then they feel anger, and then they feel also pity for themselves or pity for others. They feel some good feelings for some people, they have some bad feelings for some people. One person has a roller coaster of all these emotions. He's happy, he's sad, he's angry, he's feeling good for somebody, he's feeling bad for somebody. One person. So one person is a heart, our own self. Our existence is just a stage where all the emotions come in, they perform, and then they leave. So the emotions take birth, and then the emotions die. Who survives is me, I. So now what Jainism is trying to tell us is, what if to this dance, to this performance of all these emotions which are coming turn by turn on this stage, what if I choose to not be audience to these emotions? What if I ignore these emotions and concentrate on myself alone, that I am soul, I am complete, I am the bundle of all the brilliant attributes. Why do I need to be swayed away by the thought of anger, thought of greed, thought of kindness? I'll remain the same as far as I can be. And in that form, the samvar nirjara, the dharma that happens to us. But we'll come to that on a later stage. Just to give you the context to the concept of existence, we discussed about this concept. We call it the Trinity of Jainism is what? The Jainism Trinity is what? We can call it. The Trinity of Jainism would be Pad, Vyay, and Dravya. They sustain our existence, and anything that does not transform, that does not have change of a like birth of a new form and death of the old form, then that thing will cease to exist automatically. But it never happens. Why it never happens, we'll see. Okay, we have one question. So yes.
I just wanted to check, so every time, what do you call it? Every time period, there is a change in Paryay. Is that right? So does that mean that in every time period, there will be Utpad, Dravya, and Vyay? Even if, say, you're feeling angry for more than one time particle, would you still have destroyer of that Paryay every time?
Yeah. So these two functions are not independent functions. See, the birth of one is the death of another. So you do not have to concentrate on, killing the anger, on do the way of anger. You have to concentrate on the kindness, on the kshama swabhav, on the kindness. When we try to reach to a greater peace of mind. That way, so the birth of calmness is the death of anger. So only one paryaya is happening at a time. When that paryaya happens, automatically, just like a platform in the railway station, the one train arrives, the other train cannot arrive until unless the train standing on that platform leaves. So the second train will only be allowed to enter to that platform. The only way is to the train which is already there on the platform, it leaves that station. Similarly, if one emotion has to leave the soul, or one emotion has to take birth in the soul, the only way for that emotion to come into the existence is to the existing emotion has to leave that platform of the soul, that stage. So if anger has to be won by the thought of peace of mind, then the peace of mind will come. But when will it come? When the anger leaves. And the time of the leaving of anger and the arrival of the peace of mind is the same thing. So the time of Utpad and time of Vyay is the same thing. It's just like I entered the room and it was very dark. So I switched on the light. So what did I do? I first shooed away the darkness and then turn on the light. What did I do first? First, I have to make all the darkness come out, get out of this room, and then I'll turn on the light. No. The moment you turn on the light, the darkness goes off. So the utpad of light is the death, is the vyay of darkness. So though there are two different functions, but their origin is one. So these both different functions happen at one time. The birth of one is the death of another. So every time the transformation is happening, just like, okay, I bought a new dress today and I loved it so much. I said that I'm not going to wear it anytime sooner than my birthday. And my birthday is 8 months far. Okay. So for 8 months, I put that dress very finely packed into my cupboard. Now, after 8 months, I begin to wear that dress. Is that dress brand new or is that dress 8 months old? Because I'm wearing it for the first time. So it's a new dress or an old dress? You're wearing it for the first time. So for 8 months, was there any change to that? to that dress? Adi, what will you say? Is it a new dress or an old dress?
It's an old dress.
Old. Okay. Who agrees with Adi? Is it an old dress or a new dress? Yeah, old, right? So though that dress was very fairly packed and was put very carefully inside the cupboard, but even inside that packet in which it was packed, the dress was constantly going through Utpad and Vyai. So constantly it was getting old. That's how the malls do, the shopping malls, what do they do? The old stock, the last summer season's dresses and all the products, they put on the next season, they put it on the sale. When they launched those dresses, they had a different sale value. And now when they're selling them off season, it has a different sale value. What happened? The time has passed. The dress is not new anymore. It does not hold the same value. It does not hold the same relevance it held when it was launched. So the time is constantly impacting everything around us. So if I have a library, I bought a new book, and I've put that book into the library, and I open my cupboard after 50 years. Will there be any change to that book? Yes, the pages will become paler. The pages will become more fragile. So in 50 years, nobody entered that library. Nobody opened that book. Who went inside and changed the book? Was there some god who had his eye on my book and was constantly changing and making it old? No, that would be very stupid to believe in. So what we conclude, that the book itself is the Brahma, that book itself is the Vishnu, and the book itself is the Mahesh. The book with time have the utpad of its fragile paryay. With time, it remains the same title, same book, because of its Vishnu, its protector, its Dravya attribute. And at the same time, the newness is getting retarded every moment as Vyai, it is destroying itself slowly and constantly. So it will apply to everything and anything. You take anything, that thing will constantly change. You sow a seed today, and that seed will constantly have utpad of new things and where of the older paryas. Okay, that's how we define existence in Jainism. So astitva is called sat, is to be. Sat means that I exist, I to be. Sat is to be. That famous quote, to be or not to be. So the to be is sat. That I exist now is the very proof that I'll exist forever, because and I'll not exist as it is. I'll never be the same, just how you see me. I'll constantly transform. So if you think that how you look today, if you click your photo with your phone today, and if you take your photo after 10 days, you can see the difference. That's visible. That's visible. Last birthday photographs and today's photographs, though while you were taking photographs in the last birthday, you thought, oh, we look so fresh. But then when you take out the album now and you say, oh, what were we wearing? What happened to my hair? Like we can see that so much has changed. At that time, those photographs were so brilliant. And now they look so bad. I mean, the camera quality, the dressing sense, the time, the furniture, everything. It kind of looks dull, right? So who is changing that? That is Utpadvaya and Dravya. That is the Trinity. That is the Trinity we all need to believe in. That actually makes our brains remain open. That keeps us practical. What if you bought something very precious today, and tomorrow, because that particular thing is its own Brahma, its own Vishnu, its own Mahesh, it constantly is undergoing Utpadvaya and Dravya procedure. That particular thing, no matter how close to your heart it is, no matter how precious it is bound to get old. It's bound to, that one day or another you lose the hold of that precious thing. So Jainism, the Tirthankaras are requesting us that do not put your happiness on a material thing or on any other thing or on any other form. because every form is bound to undergo the process of Vyaya. Everything is bound to be lost. Everything is bound to lose your connection. If you have something today, there are good probabilities 10 years down the line you'll not have those things. So therefore, it's not wise to put our affection on anything that is outside us. That is not our soul. That is not the same as what I am. Okay, so this was the astitva that we discussed in the last class. Today we discussed the three great beliefs about this astitva, and with the relevance to Jainism, how we can draw the connecting lines to it. So yes, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh are the third parties who control our lives. No, they cannot be. There cannot be anybody who controls my life other than me. But do I control myself? Yes. So it's on me that what I do is decided by me. I have the total charge of my life. It's up to me whether I take that charge or not, or I just go about thoughtlessly, thinking nothing about the future, the consequences of my actions. That's up to me. But if I decide to take charge of my life, I can make it a beautiful life, right? That's the whole context of astitva is. With astitva, we also derive that okay, if everybody has to exist, then there is nobody who can put or who can do or who can change about anybody else. So one substance cannot do the work of another, right? No two substance have any influence on the other substance, right? We all are independent, and we called it as akarta vada. It's called akarta vada. We do not do the work of another. But do we not do any work at all? We do not do the work of another. That's fine. But do we do something? Yes. Yes. So astitva becomes our first common attribute. That's astitva. Now what we're going to talk about is vastutva. So astitva is the first. Astitva told us that we exist. Now what we're going to learn about is vastutva. So the question with astitva that arrived was this, that okay, we exist. But the second question came, okay, then we exist, but is there any logic to this existence? Why do we exist? So to answer that question, the second attribute came into the picture, and we call it vastutva. We called it vastutva. What vastutva is? Vastutva is nothing but the attribute which gives us the purpose. So we all have in Hindi or in Sanskrit, we call it Arth Kriya Karyatva. So first, quickly, we'll see the names of all these six attributes that we're talking about. So astitva is existence, and vastutva is something which gives us the efficiency. It gives us the purpose that whatever the work I'm allotted, I have to do it. I have to perform it. So it's just like if I am the employee of a company, and if I have been employed, to do some work, right? So that work is vastutva. So for us, let's quickly see if we go back to this chart of six substances. Can you see there are certain things that each and every dravya does, which is its distinct function. What jiva does? What is the primary work of jiva? Adi.
To live.
To live. Okay, to live. How do we know that we are living? And this pen is not living. How do we know? Does this pen live? Yes or no? I live, but is it also living? So how do you know that? How do you know that it is not living?
Because it's Putkal.
It's Pudgal, yeah. No. So how do you differentiate between Jeev and Pudgal? That's what I'm asking. Yeah, what does Jiva do? That's what my question is. How do we know that it lives? It's conscious. With with consciousness, right? We are conscious beings, right? We have this consciousness, or we can call it in Hindi or in Sanskrit, we call it Chaitanyata, right? So we have the power to know. We all know we're sentient beings. That is the unique function that we have. So Jiva has unique function to know. That's how we know that what the primary job of Jiva is. The primary job of Jiva is to do Gyan and Darshan. Okay? So we can call the distinct attribute of Jivas as Gyan and Darshan. It is through Gyan and Darshan we become the sentient beings or the conscious beings. Okay? Got it, everybody? Next is Pudgal. What does Pudgal do? Is there a specific set of duties that Pudgal has to perform? Yes, it has. I'm giving you the Hindi names because it's better if we are familiar with these names. Sparsh, that is the touch. You can touch it. Sparsh. Second is Rasa. Ras means you can taste it. So it has some sort of taste. Then Gandha. It means it has odor. It has some sort of smell. And Varna. Varna means the color. It has some sort of color. 4 attributes. Jiva has primary 2 attributes. What are those 2 attributes? These 2 attributes are, what are these 2 attributes? Gyan and Darshan. Okay. For Pudgal, it is what? Sparsh, Rasa, Gandha, and Vard. Sparsh is touch. Ras is the taste. Gandh is the smell or odor. And Vard is the color. Okay, these are the 4 distinct, unique attributes that are to Pudgal. Okay, got it? Dharma. What is the basic function of Dharma? It facilitates our movements, right? It lets us move. Yeah. So what we'll call them? It facilitates our movements. We'll call him Gati. Gati Hetutva. It helps us in Gati. Gati means the movement in Sanskrit. So what is the guna that Dharma has and it holds uniquely? It's called Gati Hetutva. Gati Hetutva is the special and unique attribute of Dharma Dravya. Okay. Next we have is Adharma. What is the unique attribute of Adharma Dravya? Opposite of Gati. It's Sthiti. Sthiti Hetutva. Sthiti means rest. So the attribute which aids us, which helps us in resting. So the Adharma Dravya is the medium of rest. So it helps us in taking a rest or to halt, to do not move, right? Then what does Akash do? Akash has a special function. The function of Akash is to give us space. In Sanskrit, we call space as Avgahana. 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 Hetutva means it facilitates that. It does not give its own space. We all have our own space, but it is facilitated by who? By Akash. Okay, so Avgahana, Hetutva. And what does Kal do? Kal do? What is the function of Kal? Kal helps us in transforming, in changing, right? So change in Sanskrit is called Parinaman. Parinaman Hetutva. Parinaman Hetutva. These are the 6 unique functions which we need to run this universe. These are 6 unique functionings that we perceive in the universe around us. And because these functions we can see, there must be the owner of these functions who does these functions, who perform these functions, right? Just like, you know, you see a cricket match or a soccer match, right? You see a match on the TV. You only hear somebody comment as a commentator, commenting on whatever is happening. He's describing you what has just happened in the game, right? But you do not see them. You only hear voice. But because you hear voice, you know that there is somebody who's talking. Yes? You see, okay, one scene is coming off from this angle, and then the screen changes, and the same goal is shown to you from a different angle, and then in slow motion. It all changes on the screen. So what do you know that, okay, it is all changing. So there need to be somebody who is looking after it, after this whole telecast, and who is changing the screens to show us the better view of the game, correct? So you do not see that person who is broadcasting it, who is changing the screens. But since the screens are changing, you know that there is somebody who is doing this for constantly. Yeah, correct? Similarly, in this universe, we see these 6 functions. We do not see Dharma, we do not see Adharma, we do not see Akash or time. We do not see them, but we see that we can change. We are changing. So we know there has to be a owner of this function. There is a substance which is called time, which is responsible for this constant change. We see that we all need space. We do not see Akash as such, but no, since we all are having space, we call it Akash Dravya. I can move from my bedroom to the hall, to the drawing room. It means there is a medium which lets me move. I can sit and sit down and relax in my drawing room. Then it says that okay, there is a medium that lets me stop whenever I wish to stop. I have sofa, I have furniture, I have this building, I have car. I can touch the texture of everything. I can taste the food. I can smell the flower, right? I can see the beautiful color of everything. So there is a dravya of which all these things are made up of. So we call it matter. And I am witnessing all these things. I definitely have consciousness. So I am the knower. I am having Gyan and Darshan. So all these included, this is the whole summary of our universe. Universe as told to us, as shown to us by our Tirthankaras, is this much. We have 6 substances who are eternally existing. They're doing their work through the Jain Trinity of Utpad, Vyay, and Dravya, which is very much similar to Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. The only exception being we ourselves are Brahmas, we ourselves are Vishnus, and we ourselves are Mahesh. There is no third party who's controlling our lives. And we all are doing what? So the Vastatva Gun says that we all are given these things as our destiny. I am Jiva because I know. This is Pudgal because it can be touched, it can be seen. It is Pudgal. I and this pen, we move together because there is medium of motion which is doing its job. I'm sitting right now on this chair because there is Dharma, Adharma Dravya, which is doing its job right now. We all are growing old together. Why? Because there is a substance called time which is honestly working, doing its own duty. We all are sitting and occupying the space we need because there is Akash, which is not just leaving its duty, which is honestly performing its job. So how are they doing this? Because first, all these jobs are given to us individually. Therefore, the karma, sorry, not the karma, the guna, which gives us these distinct features, we call it Vastutva. Vastutva, because of Vastutva, we have a unique attribute which establish us as meaningful part of. So the Vastutva, because of Vastutva Gun, everything that is Sat will have not a meaningless existence. We all have our duties to do. We are here for something. Okay, so that time is there to allow us to change. The space is there to give us the space. Similarly, the Jiva is here to know, to perceive, and Pudgal is here to do all sorts of sparshas, gandha, and varn. Got it? Okay, fine. So I exist and I have job as well. But what if I don't go to the office at all? So if I have an offer letter and I don't go to the office for 30 days straight, and on the 31st day, that is the first of the next month, I go to the office and I ask for the salary. If you are my employer, will you give me salary? Jia, if I work at Soham, if I work at your place, and for the whole month of January, I did not come, and on the first day of February, I came asking for salary, will you give me salary or not?
No, because you didn't work.
So, but I have the offer letter, I have the contract of employment. You appointed me.
But that contract is only valid if you work.
Yeah, so Vastutva will be of no use. I can say that I know because Vastutva Gun has told me to know. But then this contract means nothing if I stop knowing, if I don't know. So I need a mechanism that not just the contract offered, but also something that ensures that I attend the office daily. I come to work daily and work honestly. There needs to be a mechanism, right? Else I cannot be paid salary to, and you will not have any help by appointing me, right? So both the things will not do justice to the entire system, correct? So along with Vastutva comes the third special attribute, we call it Dravyatva. What Dravyatva says, not only that I have a job, but I come to the work daily. So it's the Dravyatva which ensures that Dravya constantly does its allotted work. Okay, ignore spelling errors if there are any, I'm really not sure. But yeah, if Dravya has its not allotted, I would say, if a Dravya has the work that has been given or concluded by the Vastutva. As given by Vastutva. Vastutva Gun gave us the job, the offer letter. Dravyatva Gun will ensure that I do that work honestly in all sincerity. So see, even if I sleep, Dravyatva Gun ensures that I keep on knowing. I see dreams. I see that I'm having a sound sleep. I see that I'm not watching any dreams. We are constantly knowing, no matter what. See, the sugar is there in your can, but it still is sweet. You'll open the can and put the sugar on your tongue, it will still stay sweet. You do it in the morning, you do it in the night, you do it on Mondays, weekdays, work days, or on Sundays. The sugar is always going to be fine. It is always going to ensure that it is sweet. It never takes a leave from its duty. Every substance, there is no such substance. What if Kal Dravya says, okay, I am tired of working for 364 days, 365th day, I'm not going to move. For one day, the time does not move. What will happen? If the time does not move, nothing moves. So just pray that time never goes on a leave, right? And the Dravyatva Gun ensures that it will never go to leave. Dravyatva Gun, it is because of Dravyatva Gun we all have paryay. So somebody asks you, why do all dravyas have paryay? Dravyatva Gun ensures that the paryay constantly takes birth in a dravya. So dravyat, it's the paryay is the function of Dravyatva Gun. Okay, that's the work of Dravyatva Gun. Fine. So now I exist. My existence is not without any purpose. I have a purpose to fulfill. And I have all the parts that I need to perform that purpose, to fulfill that purpose. So when I have a job and I know how to do that job and I am, then why do I need a third party to tell me what to do, what not to do? I'm self-sufficient now, right? Right? So to lock my all capabilities enters in the picture the most amazing attribute, which says, the name is a bit typical, Aguru Lagutva. Aguru Lagutva Guna. What is Aguru? Guru means big. You know, you become Guru means you become a big. Like teacher in Sanskrit is called guru because he has more attributes than what I have, and therefore I have come to the teacher, to the guru, so that I can also attain the attributes that he has, right? So guru is somebody who is big, who is heavy, who is great in the qualities that I see. And lagu means less, chota, the smaller one. So somebody can be guru and somebody can be lagu. Mean if let's say I have X amount of attributes, if somebody has X plus Y amount of attributes, he'll be called as guru because he has more attributes than me. And if somebody has less amount of attributes, X minus Y, then he'll be called lagu. Okay. What Aguru Lagutrugun says, let's say my mother is brilliant in mathematics and I'm dumb. I don't know a single thing in mathematics. And tomorrow is my mathematics paper, right? So I go approach my mom and I tell her, Mom, please, for 3 hours, all I need is your brain. For 3 hours. And for that time, you can keep mine, though it's of no use to you, but still, I'll borrow your brain. I'll go, I'll do the mathematical operation, I'll give my paper, I'll come back and I'll return your brain to you. What will happen, you know? Your son will, you the mathematical genius, you prodigy, your son will not end up being a dumb child, right? Will my mom help me or not? Hello, I'm asking. Will she give me, lend her mind to me? Should she or should she not? She should, right? Being a mom, caring mom, loving mom, she should help me out in this, right? Okay, let's say she agrees. Can she give it to me? Can she give her brains to me? Why? Why? Will not world be a better place if we all can exchange our abilities to know? So if I have my certain exam, I'll just contact my professor, we'll fix on some fee, and then I can take his brains to that exam center, right? And I can crack any exam I want to. But can we do that? What if I have more patience than you have and you're having anxiety attack? What if you borrow some patience from me? Wouldn't it be very beautiful thing to do? Amazing thing if it works in that way. But does it work? Aguru Lagutrugun says no, it cannot. Because of Aguru Lagutrugun, one attribute, even one attribute in any of these substance, you cannot make one attribute part ways from the soul or give it to another. So one substance cannot be another substance. That's Astitva's work. Astitva, the existence was ensuring that I cannot be killed. I cannot be given birth, right? But now Aguru Lagutra is saying, what if we're not talking about substance to substance? Let's interact on attributes part. I have 100 attributes. What if I deal 5 of my attributes with you? Take 5 of mine, give 2 of yours. Can we have such transactions? That Aguru Lagutrugun says no. One dravya is complete in itself. One dravya is complete in itself. It cannot give away any of the attributes and it cannot take anybody's or other substances, others attributes. So that means if I have X amount of attribute, I cannot add any Y amount to it, and I cannot subtract any Z amount from it. It means all my attributes are going to remain the same. I will never become more than what I am right now, and I'll never become less than what I am right now. I'll never be Guru, I'll never be Laghu. I'll always remain a Guru Laghu as it is. All my qualities, even if I go to Narak, even if I go to Nigod, even I become a Dev or I become a human, or I become an animal, whatever form I get transformed into, my soul's all attribute will never be loosened out. I'll never miss on any of my attributes. The depreciation will not be applicable in the soul. Not any single attribute of the soul gets destroyed in this whole process of time of transformation. In science and chemistry, like GI, do you have chemistry already in your school? Do you have already? Soham, do you also have chemistry right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're given the task to balance the equation, the chemical equations. Yeah. What is the rule that you applied in that transformation? Is there a something rule? There is a law of something. There is a law in chemistry that we learn where the one part of the equation and the second part of the equation, the elements, when you perform a chemical reaction, the chemicals, the elements, they remain the same, the mass, the law of conservation of mass. Yeah, have you heard about it? Some sort? Yeah, Soham, I think you know about it. What is it? Can you tell us?
Yeah, no, so the so the amount of like
Let's say if we have 10 molecules of two chemicals over here, and then we make them react, the resultant that we'll get will have how many molecules after the process of the chemical reaction?
the same amount of
The
molecules.
same, 10, though the formula would be different. It says no matter how rigorously you process any of the chemicals, the mass, the molecules will remain the same. Because one substance will never die. Not will it die, even the properties, the molecules that constitute that substance will never change. That way, in that fashion, Agru Lagutva Gun functions. A substance with all its might and all its attribute remains the same, no matter it travels to whichever condition, to whichever part it does. Okay, so Agru Lagutva Gun, Astitva Gun was ensuring that I will survive no matter what happens. Agru Lagutva says, I will survive as it is, no matter what happens. Not even a single attribute will be suffered because of the transformation that I have. So if I say, if I attain moksha and I become Siddha Bhagwan, okay, how many more attributes will I have once I become Siddha? From what attributes I have right now. So when I become Siddha, will I gain more attributes? See, like Soham, Adi, who has more attributes, you or Siddha Bhagwan?
Me?
Sorry, you have more than Siddha Bhagwan attributes.
Is it because Siddha Bhagwan like
Does not have body, so he falls short. Yeah. In comparison, no, but we're talking about the soul itself. Not you means not your body, soul. I'm just asking if I put in this place your soul and in this place soul of a Siddha Bhagwan, who has more attributes, you or Siddha Bhagwan, who's completely blissful, complete? Yes, Adi.
We have the same amount.
The same. Why? Because even after the Siddha Bhagwan, a person as ordinary as I am transforms myself into Siddha Bhagwan, Agru Lagutva Gun will ensure that not even a single new attribute gets added to my soul. And even if I go to Nigodha, Agru Lagutva Gun will ensure that none of my beautiful attributes gets lost. So I remain the same. And therefore we say the Shuddhatma, we are the pure soul. There is no difference between us and Siddha Bhagwan. Why? Because we both have Agru Lagutva Gun, which ensures that our innate nature remains the same. It's a beautiful concept. So these are the 4 common attributes that we have learned so far. The 2 remains very interesting ones, but so far we have learned a lot about, through these 4 attributes, we have learned very great concepts of Jainism, of Akartavad, of Utpadve and Dravya, of our uniqueness in this whole universe, of the functioning of Paryay, the rationale behind the working of Paryay, and of the basic structure of every Dravya remaining constant because of Agrula Guna. Think about it. If you have any doubts, we'll be open to discussion in the next class. And then we'll be learning about the two very special attributes, Pradeshatva and Prameyatva, in the next class. Okay?
Bhakti,
Yes,
one
yes.
question. Where you have said that Dravyatva is related to Paryay, is Vastutva related to Gun?
Yes, that's why. That's why while we discussed about Vastutva, Vastutva talked about the utility, the exceptional quality of Dravya. So not just the common qualities, but the exceptional quality. So from the, that's why in Sanskrit, we call it Vastu from the perspective of what it can do. And we'll call it Dravya from the perspective that it is doing. So a watch is a Vastu because it shows time. And watch is a Dravya because it is functioning. So if I have a watch which has turned old and does not work, I'll not call it Dravya. That will become a watch which ceases to exist, to be called as a watch. So yes, Vastutva is directly related to the attributes that we have, exceptional attributes, and Dravyatva is related to the Paryay that we have. Okay? Okay, sure. Okay, fine. So we'll quickly have Chinmani Stuti. We'll close the class today. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है, उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है. No bad mukha. Jain Dharma no Jai Ho. Okay, I think today's class must have been very boring and also difficult. But if you have any doubts, questions, we can begin from the next class. And we'll the next topic, the upcoming topic, is very interesting. So from Prameyatva and Pradesh, we'll be moving to the 8 karmas, which is amazing topic for us to discuss. Okay, so if you have any thoughts, any questions, any doubts, do think about it over the next week, and then we'll discuss it. Okay. Okay.
No, I don't
Thank
think
you.
anyone found it boring, Anubhavji.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Jai Shinendra. Jai Shinendra.
Jai Shri.
Krishna.